of the sits bones, sitting up tall, legs can be crossed and knees bent. We're going to tuck chin and chest and just kind of round through the upper part of the back, letting the weight of your head take you down so you feel a nice stretch in the spine. And then on your next inhale, we're going to restack all the way back up, just nice and slow. So as the postural muscles are working, you're also getting a nice stretch through the spine. Let's do that 3 more times, dropping the crown of the head. Let the weight of your head take you down maybe a little deeper so you start to feel a bigger stretch through the spine. And then restacking all the way back up. Just a nice gentle stretch through our spine. 2 more times. Inhale, restacking. And exhale 1 more. Inhale, restacking. We're going to go ahead and bring our left ear to shoulder, pulling the shoulder blades back, sitting up tall, equal weight on your sit bones. Deep breathing in and out, kind of breathing in through the side of your right neck. And then we'll come to the other side. Just allowing the ear to drop to the shoulders, still pulling the shoulders back, sitting up tall. So making sure the movement doesn't start to make you slouch. You'll get a better stretch if you're sitting up tall. We're going to go ahead and drop our head down, just the head, and then bring it to the other side. Then as we go back, instead of crunching your neck, think about lifting your head and your chin away from your body to go to the other side. Let's do that again, just the neck. Lift to go to the other side. Now as we go forward, let's go ahead and start to bring the shoulders and the upper back into it. To the other side, as you straighten your spine, we lift the head to go to the other side. 1 more this way. Allowing the spine to round as you come forward. And lift the head back to the other side, and then we'll reverse it. So we'll lift the head, go to your left, drop the head down, just the neck, to the other side. Chin and head lift away from the body to go to the other side. Head drops down, just the head, just the neck. And now we'll bring our spine into it. So as we lift to go to the other side, we're going to drop the head down, let your spine follow so you get that stretch in your upper mid back. And then lift the head up to go to the other side. 1 more time. And right back to center. We're going to bring our hands behind us. It can be shoulder width apart or a little wider. Fingertips can face away. We're going to pull the shoulders back. You might even feel a little stretch in your forearms, maybe even into your hands, and maybe across the chest. We're going to go into a little extension. So we're just going to push the chest up to the ceiling. Again, think about your chin lifting away from your body so you don't drop your head back and crunch your neck. And then we're just going to relax down. And then again, we're going to lift. So kind of feeling the shoulder blades pull together. Feel that work through your mid-back. And then just relaxing down. So just really gentle today. Inhaling up. Exhaling back down. And 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. We'll come back, bringing our shoulders over our sit bones. Take the right arm up and over, gentle side bend. We're going to go all the way down to the floor. Start to slide the hands along the floor, bringing your body to the other side. Try to keep your anchor in your hips. Right hand comes to the side of the body. And then we're going to pick the left arm up, turning to center, facing forward. And then come all the way back up. So again, you're feeling that anchor through here. Let's reverse it. We're going to go to the right. Round over the right leg, bringing your left hand down onto the floor. Feel that nice stretch in your low back. And then we're going to start to bring our arms, sliding the hands across to the other side. The body and the arms are just moving to the left. Left hand comes to the side of the body. And we pick our right arm up, turning to center. Big stretch up and over. Come all the way back up. Let's do that one more time each way. Exhale. Bring the hand down. Inhale. Exhale. Slide to the other side. Anchor down through that right hip, sorry, your left. Rotate back facing forward. Big stretch up and over and come up. And one more. Stretch. And then rotate down. And then slide the hands across the floor to the other side, anchoring through that right hip. Rotating back facing forward, stretch. And come all the way back up and lower the arm. Nice job, everybody. So we should feel pretty stretched out in our spine. And let's go ahead and face our mat lengthwise. Grab underneath the legs. And we're going to scoop and roll down onto our mat, one bone at a time. Once you get onto the mat, make sure your knees and feet are hip width apart. Just kind of settle your body on the mat. Find your neutral placement where your teacup is balanced on your pelvis. So your hip bones and pubic bone are in the same plane. And then bring the awareness to the front of the ribs. Gently melt those down so you feel the back part of your ribcage on the mat without losing your neutral, right? So we have a little space open between the low back and the mat. And then shoulder blades are going to feel like they're flat against the mat and flat against your back. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Right into our Pilates breath, exhaling through slightly pursed lips. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through slightly pursed lips. As we continue to breathe, make sure you're looking up so that the back of your neck is long, it's not crunched. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through slightly pursed lips. Now we're going to engage our abdominals, so inhaling through your nose. Force out your exhale. So you feel your abdominals get tight. We're just trying to keep that little teacup balanced as we brace through the core. It'll feel like you're braced. Like if you're going to brace yourself if someone's going to punch you in the stomach. Let's try to keep that sensation of braced through the core. We'll go back to our regular breath, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through slightly pursed lips. As you inhale, since we're lying down on the mat, you can kind of feel the back part of your ribs press into the floor as you inhale. Because we want that rib cage breathing so we can keep our abdominals braced. On our next exhale, we're going to start to do little marches with our legs. Just bringing one knee up off the mat. One leg comes to tabletop, one at a time. We're continuing to brace through the core. It's very slight. It's not like a huge brace. You just want to feel a little bit of contraction through here so that you're focusing on keeping your pelvis still. So we're keeping our little imaginary teacup balanced as we do our marches. Let's exhale, lift, inhale, put it down. We're going to add a little reach with the legs. So exhale up, take an inhale, extend the leg without moving the hips. Exhale, pull the knee in, inhale, put it down. Let's do that on the other side. Exhale, lift, inhale, stretch, exhale in, inhale, place it down. Just a couple more. So we get that nice reach through the leg. Really point the toes so you get that stretch through the top of the foot. No movement in hips, so really paying attention to staying in our neutral placement. One more time. And replace the foot on the mat. So from this position, we're going to stay in neutral. We're going to start some ab preps. So drawing chin to chest, that's really important. So keeping the head on the mat, we just draw the chin down slightly. So if you imagine a little orange here, you're going to pinch that orange between your chin and your chest. And then we're going to engage the upper abs to curl the head and shoulders off the mat. The arms are going to come up slightly in front of the body. And just check, make sure you're still in neutral. So you're going to feel some work back here in the lumbar extensors because you're maintaining neutral. Inhale, we're going to go all the way back down, arms, shoulders, and head. And again, tuck chin to chest, exhale. and curl up, staying in neutral. So we're just working through the thoracic spine and through the upper abs. Inhale all the way back down, head, shoulders, and arms. Let's do that 2 more times. One more time. Very nice job. Just roll your head side to side if you feel any tension in your neck and shoulders. And then we're going to bring our feet in a little closer to our body, and we're going to imprint the low spine. So just imagine taking that teacup and you're tipping it towards your belly button. We're going to now stay in imprint and do 4 more ab preps. So tucking chin and chest, we're going to curl up. You'll feel like you're coming up higher. Inhale, go back down, but keep your imprint. So we are feeling more hugged through the midsection. Exhale, tuck chin and chest, curling up. Inhale, all the way back down, keeping your imprint. 2 more times. So really feeling that deep work through the core. 1 more. All the way back down, releasing the pelvis back to your neutral. So we're just opening up that little space here, bringing our teacup back to where it's balanced. So from here, everybody, we're going to stay in neutral, tuck chin and chest, come back into your ab prep. Again, just make sure you have your little teacup balanced right here. We're going to bring our right leg to tabletop, reach it out, pull it in, place it down, and just stay in that curled position. Left leg, we're going to alternate sides. The goal is to stay curled up and keep your teacup balanced. Right leg, reach, pull it in, place it down. Left leg, reach, pull it in, place it down. Now we're going to bring the right leg up. You're going to reach it out and pull it in 4 times, maintaining that neutral placement. 3, keep looking at your belly button. 2, and 1. Replace the foot on the mat. Let's do that on the left. I know the neck muscles are probably starting to get a little fatigued, so keep looking at your belly button. Those neck muscles in the front of the neck are working really hard to keep the weight of our head up. And then we're going to lower all the way back down, and let's roll the head side to side. Sometimes I think that's one of the hardest things when you're first starting, is just lifting the weight of your head. So just utilizing these muscles to keep the head up when you're in a curl. So let's go ahead and give our necks a little bit of a break. Move your feet in a little bit more. We're going to imprint and roll up into a bridge. So focus on peeling each part of your spine off the mat until your weight's at your shoulders. Now, a lot of times when people come up, I see the belly sticking out like this. So really focus on melting the front of the ribs down and squeezing your glutes so you're finding this connection through the front of the ribs and the hips. And that way, all you're doing is focusing on squeezing the glutes. You're protecting that low back from being arched. On our next exhale, we're going to soften through the heart and roll down 1 bone at a time. And really focus on your spine here, because we're really moving it. We're articulating it back down and up. And again, imprint. Let's roll back up. So focus on peeling each part of the spine off the mat. When you reach the top, just make sure the glutes are squeezing and your heart is softened or ribs are down. On your exhale, soften and roll back down 1 bone at a time. We're going to do this 2 more times with that 4 breath pattern. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, imprint, rolling up. Find that connection here at the top. Inhale. Exhale, soften, roll down. Let your head lengthen away from your body. Your shoulder blades are staying flat on the mat here. 1 more, everybody. Imprint, rolling back up. Find the connection between the bottom of the ribs and the hips. Inhale. Exhale, soften and roll down, bone by bone. Very nice job. Now we're going to go into imprint again. Tuck chin and chest, curl the head and shoulders off the mat into your ab prep. You will feel like you can come up farther. Bring your right leg up. Reach it out, pull it in, put it down. Left leg. So we're staying in imprint now. So as you reach that leg out, resist the weight of your leg taking you out of your imprint. And again on the left. So we're going back to working those muscles in the front of the neck. Right, we're gonna reach it out and pull it in 4 times. 3, 2, look at your belly button. 1, replace your foot and to the left, bring it in. Reach it out, inhale, pull it in, exhale, 4, 3. See your belly sink down on your exhales. And 1, replace your foot on the mat. And we're gonna lower the head and shoulders. And let's release our pelvis back to our neutral. Roll your head side to side if you feel any tension in your neck and shoulders. All right, we're gonna come back to center with the head. Move your feet in a little bit. We're gonna press the body into the mat so you feel that your core is braced. And we're gonna do 10 hip lifts. So lifting the hips straight up and straight down. Straight up and straight down. So no longer articulating, just lifting and lowering. As you lower down, you'll be in neutral. Exhale and inhale. Shoulder blades staying flat against the mat. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to alternate sides. It's going to feel like you're taking a very big step. So as we come up, one leg's going to come to tabletop, and as we come down, the foot's going to go right back down. So again, as the hip lifts, leg comes to tabletop. As the hip comes down, the leg goes back down. So let's try it. We're going to push up with one leg, opposite leg comes to tabletop, and then as you lower the hips back down, foot goes back down onto the mat. And you almost want to let it happen at the same time as best you can. And we're just going to keep alternating. Exhale, inhale. And really focus on the opening of the hip. So as I push up with my right leg, my right hip is opening. And left. Let's keep going. Ginormous steps. 3 more. Last one. And rest. We're going to go bottoms of the feet together and just take a couple deep breaths in and out, allowing the hips to open. One more time, inhale and exhale. We're going to bring our arms overhead, trying to keep the shoulder blades on the mat. It's okay if the arms don't touch all the way. Move your feet a little closer to your body. Try to keep your knees out to the side and stay right on the sides of your feet, so the outsides of the feet. And we're going to press our hips up. Keeping the knees wide, just focus on squeezing the glutes so the hips open, and then try to release any gripping in the lower leg and the front of the hip. Let's hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering back down nice and slow. Let's do that one more time. So again, stay on the sides of the feet. We're going to press the hips up. Knees stay wide. Once you reach the top where you're focusing on squeezing the glutes, try to relax any gripping that you feel in your calves and the front of your hip. So we're allowing the front of the hip to open. Take your head away from your body and hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly lower back down. And then we'll bring our legs together. Take the arms out to the side and let your knees fall to one side. We'll rotate palms up and look towards your opposite hand. So you get a nice little stretch in your low back. Deep breath in. Exhale, bring your knees to the other side. And you can turn your head towards the opposite hand. Deep breath in and out. And then we'll come back to center. extending the left leg, and you're gonna roll onto your left side. You can bend your bottom arm, rest your head in your elbow. We're gonna take our left leg, we're gonna bend it so that our left leg helps us keep our balance. Find your mouse house. So just lifting the natural waist off the mat, just big enough for a little mouse to run through. The sides of my ribs are still on the mat. It's just through your natural waist. We're gonna take our top leg, reach through it and bring it into a little hover. And we're gonna point the toe, lift it, keep your knee and foot looking forward, flex, lower, point, lift, flex, lower. So make sure the ribs are staying down. You're holding on to that mouse house. So as we move from the hip joint, the hips don't move. We're gonna do 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. So we're really working the adductors of the hips. You're gonna feel that right in here. We're gonna keep our foot flexed and just lift the leg so it's in alignment with your hip bone that sticks out in the front of the pelvis. And then we're gonna bend our knee to tabletop. Try to keep that knee again lifted so it's in alignment with the hip and hold on to that mouse house. Point the toe, just reach it down. Right back where it was. Flex, pull it in. Point, reach it down. Almost like you're hitting a bullseye with your toes as you reach it down so you get that stretch through your leg. Exhale in, inhale, stretch. Exhale in, inhale, stretch. We got 5 more. You might even start to feel a little bit of work through your lower leg because we're flexing and pointing the foot. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Now from here, we're gonna hold on to the mouse house. Keep this hip right here. We're gonna take our leg back, staying in parallel, and back in alignment with the body. Squeeze it back. So again, we're just opening up that hip. Back. We're only gonna go back as far as you can keep your anchor in the lower leg and in your hips. We wanna resist this hip, kind of rotating back as our leg goes back. 5 more times, reach it back. Pull it in. 4 more, stretch, open up that hip. Pull it in. 3 more, you're gonna feel work in your hamstring and your glute. Pull it in. 2 more times, stretch. Pull it in. 1 more time, reach. Pull it in. We're gonna bend that leg down to the bottom leg, and then we're gonna go into our clam shells. Let's keep our feet down today, but of course, if you want more of a challenge, you can lift your feet up. Keep your mouse house and just squeeze that top leg open. Feet stay together. So we're working the lateral rotators now. So you're gonna feel a little more work in the back of the hip underneath the glute. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good, now we're gonna turn out again and maybe we extend the leg. So just reach through it, pull it back in by bending your knee. Your feet will come back together in your clamshell and then lower the knee. Let's do that again. Turn out and then we're just extending the knee. Trying really hard not to move from the hip joint itself. So my knee is going to stay right here in space as I extend it. So I'm not lifting higher or lowering. And then I pull it back in and lower it down. Let's do that 1 more time. Turn out. Keep this still. Keep your hips still. Hip joint. Bring it back down and pull it in. Bring your knee in front. Just punch out the hip a little bit. And we're going to take our bottom leg and extend it. Two options with the leg. You can keep your front leg here, or if it's more comfortable for you, turn it out and place your foot flat on the mat. Still try to find your mouse house. We're going to flex the bottom foot, lift your heel up to the ceiling, and from where your thigh meets your pelvis, that's where you're going to squeeze, and the bottom leg is going to lift up a little bit. 2, 3, 4. Keep your leg long. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. 10. Very nice job, you guys. We're going to bend our knees and push ourselves up to do the other side. So lying down on the right side, bottom knee is going to bend, top leg is going to reach out. Find your mouse house. Remember, the side of your ribs are on the floor, but it's just that natural lift through the bottom waist. We're going to reach out through our top leg so much that it comes up into a little hover. And then we're going to lift as we point the toes, flex to lower down. Point to lift, flex to lower. And our goal is, again, just to move from the hip joint so that the hips and the low spine doesn't move. So keep your mouse house. And we're going to exhale, lift, inhale, lower. 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good, now take your leg up hip width apart, and we're gonna pull our leg to tabletop, hold onto that mouse house, point the toe, and just stretch it right back down where it was. Imagine hitting a bullseye with your toes. Flex, bring it in, point, reach it down. We're trying to keep that leg hip width. So those abductors of the hip have to work really hard just to keep the leg up. Exhale and inhale. So this is when we start to feel maybe a little work in the lower leg because we're flexing and pointing. And then the side of our hip is working. So you might start to feel a little bit of burning there also. We got 2 more. 1 more. Now really anchor into the bottom leg and your mouse house and the hips. And we're going to take our leg back. Today I'm not turning it out. I'm staying in parallel. So my knee and my toes look forward, even though my toes are pointed. If I was to flex, they're facing forward. I'm not turning out. It's a little lesser range of motion, but you'll definitely feel a little deeper work into the hamstring. Exhale and inhale. 5 more times. Reach it back, bring it back in alignment with the body. 4, 3, 2, opening up the front of that left hip. 1. We're going to bend that knee down to the bottom leg. Feel free to lift your feet up for your clam shells. I'm going to keep my feet down today, and we're just going to turn out and back in. So moving on to the lateral rotators of the hip, all those little muscles underneath the glute. Exhale, inhale. And just squeeze it open until you can't go anymore. 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Good, we're gonna go back to our clamshell and let's extend the top leg. A little bit more work through the back of the hip. Bend your knee to pull your feet back together and then lower the knee. And again, open, reach through it, really stretch. Pull it back down and lower. So remember, this is the one where we don't wanna open up the hip anymore, so it just stays. You're not lifting or lowering your knee when you extend your leg, it just stays. So just really trying to hold this still at the hip joint. 1 more time. Stretch, pull it in, place it down. You're really gonna feel that work right in here. So let's bring our leg down, give it a little punch out, right where it was burning. We're gonna extend our bottom leg, keeping your mouse house, and just kind of reach through it. You can keep your leg here, or if it feels more comfortable for you to have it up, go ahead and place it up with your feet on your mat. Flex your bottom foot, turn your heel up to the ceiling. And, you know, really try hard not to bend your knee in this one. So we're going to try to lift from where your thigh meets your pelvis. That's where you want to lift from, not from your foot. And let's squeeze. 10, 9. So it is a very small movement. It's not very big. And just be gentle as you squeeze it up. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to lower that leg, bring both legs together, and push yourself all the way up into a side-seated position on your right hip. And we're going to turn our left leg up to the ceiling and then bring our right foot to the back of the left foot. Top hand is going to rest on the knee. And I want you to really pull this shoulder back, making sure it doesn't roll forward. And we're going to push the hips up and forward to a nice long line. And then we're going to arch over the mat, really opening up through the top hip and the side, coming back to your long line. Slowly lower the hips down. Keep pushing the shoulder down and back. Let's do that 2 more times. We'll go all the way into it and then all the way back down. 1 more, pressing into the knuckles of the hand on your right and all the way back down. Let's do the other side. So again, we really want to make sure that this shoulder doesn't roll forward and it definitely doesn't come up like this. So we're engaging all those muscles underneath here in our shoulder girdle to really pull that shoulder back and down as we do the exercise. So it is really centered on the stability of the shoulder. Now let's go ahead and push our hips up and forward. Find that long line with your spine and then arch over your mat. So you're feeling a nice stretch in your right hip and your side body. Find your long line again. Now remember, it's all these muscles underneath the shoulder that are going to work to keep pulling that shoulder down as you lower the hips. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, we'll go all the way into it. And exhale. Keep squeezing right underneath here. 1 more time. Inhale. Pressing into the knuckles of the left hand. Exhale. All right, you guys, shake out your wrists a little bit, both of them. And we're going to come into a kneeling position, quadruped position. And as Brian in class calls it, we're going to go into our mother hovers. So shoulders down, shoulders right over your hips. And you want to find a tabletop. So we still have our knee underneath our hip. We have that 90-degree angle here and in the knee. We're going to curl the toes under, knees and feet hip width. And we're going to hover our knees. Begin, 30 seconds. Just keep holding, keep breathing. So we're going to start to feel some work in our quads and our core. Shoulders also. Everything's pretty much working here. Keep holding, keep breathing. Press into the knuckles of the hands. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Gently bring the knees down so they like you later. All right, so we're going to do that again, but we're going to add little lifts with our feet. So the feet just lift up 1 at a time. So let's go ahead. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. Lift the knees into your hover and begin. And as you're picking up 1 foot at a time, it's a tiny lift. The knees stay underneath your hips. You want to resist your hips moving side to side. So imagine that teacup right on your tail. You're going to keep that tea from spilling side to side. Keep breathing, keep going. We got 10 more seconds. 2, 1, and gently bring the knees down. We'll go feet together, knees wide. Sit back towards your heels and then stretch your arms forward so we get a little release in our arms, our shoulders, and our hips. 2 deep breaths in and out. From this position, we're going to scoop through our tail and restack the spine from the base of the pelvis all the way up to the crown of the head. So we get that nice stretch through the postural muscles again. Now we're going to practice a full plank. I'm going to go for 1 minute. 2 options for your arms. You could do it on your forearms, or we can practice it on our hands today. And really focus, if you're going to be on your hands, to press into this part of your hand instead of having all your weight be at your wrist. So really pressing through the knuckles of the fingers on the palm. So let's go ahead and find our plank position. Step 1 foot back and then the other, and begin 1 minute. Keep breathing. Again, you could be on your forearms here. Legs can be hip width or together. Make sure your heavy head doesn't get droopy. Keep pulling it up and back. Shoulders down. Make sure your butt's not lifted or drooping, so you will feel your core, and it will feel hard when you're in the right spot. Breathe and hold. When you start to get tired, maybe shift your weight into your palms, into the knuckles or your forearms, and then shift your weight back to your heels. Keep breathing, keep holding. 20 more seconds. So maybe your body starts to shake a little bit. Just keep holding. You can do it. Breathing, holding. 10 more seconds, everybody. Shoulders down, equal weight on your hands. And gently bring the knees down, feet together, knees wide, and push back into that nice flat back child's pose. 2 deep breaths in and out. We're going to go ahead and come forward onto our mat. Open up the front of the hip and then slowly lower yourself down by bending the elbows until you're all the way down on the floor. We're going to make a pillow with our hands, rest our hands on the pillow. The legs are going to be in parallel, so toes and knees looking down, legs hip width apart. Lengthen your tailbone to your heels so you kind of feel like you're pressing your pelvis into the mat. Shoulders down, and we're just going to lift the weight of the head. I want you to lengthen your tailbone more. Feel as though your belly button is picking up away from the mat, so we're engaging through the core, and you're going to bring your pillow to your forehead. Hold for 5. The legs are down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. We're going to do that again, just kind of breaking it up. So lengthen the tailbone. Lift just the weight of the head. Lengthen the tailbone more. Pull the abs up, 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 and then lift your pillow to your forehead. So it's a long lift through the spine. The legs are staying down and parallel. 4, 3, 2, slowly lower down. So let's go ahead and pick up everything at the same time. So we're lengthening tailbone to the heels. Belly pulls up, doesn't push out. And we pick the head up with our pillow. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly lower down. My legs are so straight that my knees are off the mat, but my feet stay on. Let's do that again. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels. Belly button pulls up, and we lift everything up. Hold for 5, 4. Feel your abs pull up deeper. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the head and shoulders back down. Now again, we're going to straighten the knees so the knees come off. Keep lengthening the tailbone to the heels. We're going to pick everything up again, sliding the hands out to the tops of the shoulders and pulling the shoulder blades back. So it's almost as if your elbows, you're trying to get them to touch. Abs pull up, 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 and we're going to do little lifts up to the ceiling for 10. 9. As you're doing those little pulses, it's your belly that pulls up in order to get you to lift. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your pillow and rest all the way back down. We're going to go ahead and push ourselves into a shelf stretch. So you just want to counteract that extension by rounding our spine over our legs. So you can have your feet, your knees together or apart again, whatever feels better for your body. We're going to bring our arms down to our side now and let the top of the forehead rest on the floor. 2 deep breaths in the middle. let's restack our spine all the way back up, just nice and slow so we get that stretch through each part of the spine. All right, we're going to come into a quadruped position. Walk your hands out about 1 foot and then bring the hips forward. Legs and feet hip width apart. You're going to anchor into your right knee. Pick your right hand up and touch your left shoulder. Put it back down. Anchor into the left knee. Pick your left hand up. Touch your right shoulder. Put it down. We're going to keep alternating sides. You are going to feel weight transfer in your knees, but you want to resist that shifting your hips and shifting your body. Keep going. So you're going to feel the front of your hip engage as we're tapping the shoulders. Couple more. We'll go 4 more. Right, left, right, left. Right, left, right, left. Bringing the hands down, kind of getting your body centered and settled. Spread the fingers wide, press into the knuckles. We're going to cross our ankles, bending the knees, and we're going to do 8 push-ups today. So elbows look slightly out to the side as you go down. You only bring yourself down as far as you know you can push yourself up. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep your head back. It's almost as if your shoulder blades aren't moving. That's what it'll feel like. 2 more. 1 more. Go ahead and open the feet. We're going to sit back in our shell stretch again. Legs can be together or apart. And just rest the top of the forehead on the floor. 2 deep breaths in and out. On your next inhale, slowly restack the spine so you get that nice stretch through your spine. And all the way back up to our seated position. We're going to sit with our legs crossed, one in front of the other. And then let's switch which one is in front. We always have a favorite that always comes in front first. So we're going to do a little genie arm position, stacking one arm on top of the other. I want you to think about a straight line from the crown of your head all the way through the center of your body, which would be your spine, not from the crown of the head, but so just like think about that visual line. Shoulders down, shoulder blades feel like they're flat against your back. Even weight on your sit bones, and make sure you're on the sharpest points of your sit bones, not in front or behind them. And we're going to take our body, we're going to rotate around that center line. So you're keeping the length in the sides of the body, and we're just rotating around it. Coming back to center, let's do that to the other side. Rotate around that center line. So again, keeping the length on the sides as we rotate. Back to center. A little taller, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center, and again to the other side, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center, and again, exhale, rotate. Inhale, center, and exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. We're going to add 3 pulses in the rotation. The pulses are a rotational pulse. So we're going to rotate to the right, get a little taller. Now pulse 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, back to center. And then to your left. 3 pulses. Inhale, back to center. Let's do that again to the right and then the left. And one more time. And rest. Oh, it's a lot of work. Even just keeping the core braced for that long as you're doing your rotations. So let's go ahead and turn our right leg around the other way. So we have our left toes at our right knee. We're going to take a little hip opening stretch, taking the left arm up and over. Coming down onto the left hand, you're going to push your hips up and forward. So big stretch and opening through that right hip. Hips go back and down. Let's do that again, switching arms up and over. Bringing the hand down and up and over. Really push the hips forward so you get that opening through your hip. And again, up and over. And hand comes down and one more up and over. And coming back down, let's go ahead and switch our legs to the other side. So just like we did in our side bends, when we come up, really make sure that shoulder is nice and strong. So we're gonna go over the legs to begin. Hand comes down, make sure that shoulder stays down. Push the hips up and forward. Hips go back and down. Keep squeezing underneath that right arm and then up and over. And then hand on the floor. Push the hips up and forward. And let's do that one more time each way. And all the way back down. Very nice, you guys. Let's go ahead and turn to face our mats lengthwise. We're going to open our feet as wide as our mat. Sometimes the hamstrings are a little tight when we do this, and they'll make you sit back off your sit bones like this. So if you kind of feel that pull here and you're feeling gripping in the front, just bend the knees a little bit and get yourself right onto the sharpest points of the sit bones. We're going to bring our arms down in front of us on the mat for spine stretch forward. We're just going to use our hands to kind of walk out as we do our stretch. So staying right on the sharpest points of the sits bones, you want to basically keep your pelvis in neutral. We're going to tuck chin and chest. Really pull up and in through your core like you're scooping. And we're going to kind of roll down through the head and upper and middle part of the back. The hands will walk out. Keep flexing your feet. You're going to feel this really nice stretch through your spine. Take an inhale, and we're going to re-step all the way back up. And just kind of walk your hands back using your fingers. Nice and tall, almost like you're stacking your spine against a wall. Let's do that again. Exhale, tuck chin and chest. And just starting to round through the head, upper back, into the middle part of your back, making sure you're staying right on your sit bones. So we're really trying hard not to round through the low spine. Pull up and in like you're scooping up and in through your core. On your inhale, restack nice and slow. Keep flexing your feet. Knees and toes looking up. We're going to do this 2 more times. Just allowing that spine to stretch. Abs pull up, 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 in and in. And we stretch forward through our spine. Keep flexing your feet. Restack on an inhale. Let's do that one more time. Again, abs pull up and in. Very gentle, but very deep. Relax the feet. And then restack all the way back up. Let's relax our legs. Bring our hands behind us, fingertips face away. We're going to pull the shoulder blades back and send the heart up to the ceiling just to counteract the spine stretch forward. And then relax down. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Remember, the chin lifts up and away. Exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale up. And exhale down. We're going to bend our knees. Roll onto your left side and lie all the way down, resting your head on your bottom hand. So the hand is actually to the side of my head, my elbows looking forward, and I'm going to stack my knees and my hips. So I'm keeping my little mouse house between my bottom waist and the mat. Top hand is going to go to the other side of the head. On your inhale, we're going to open up to the ceiling, making sure that top hip and knee doesn't roll back. And then exhale, come back to center. So get this really nice stretch through our spine. Inhale, open up. Exhale, back to center. Let's do this 3 more on this side. Inhale. Exhale. So again, working that hip stability by not moving the hips as we rotate. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to take this arm up, and then we're going to let it take us back. It's okay if your hand doesn't touch the floor, but just allow the weight of the arm to deepen that twist through the spine. 2 more deep breaths in and out. And then we're going to pick the arm up, coming back to center, and let's move to the other side. Just kind of pick yourself up, or you can roll onto the other side. So I'm going to rest my hand or my head in my bottom hand, my elbows looking forward, knees and hips are stacked. Find that little mouse house between your bottom waist and the mat. Top hand to the side of the head. And we're going to take that arm up and back, rotating. Inhale. Exhale back to center. So as you rotate, you don't want this hip or knee to pull back. So the hips and knees stay still. We'll do that 3 more times, inhaling. And this should just feel really good through the spine. 2 more. Going back to that gentle yet deep kind of movement. 1 more time. And exhale, then we're going to take the arm up and let the weight of your arm take you back, real gentle, because you are going to bring your bicep into a little stretch. It's okay if your hand doesn't touch the floor. 2 more deep breaths in and out. And we're going to bring the arm up, roll onto your back. We're going to take our arms out to the side, palms facing down, and walk your feet to the sides of your mat. So you're wider than your hip width apart. And we're going to let our knees fall to the right. Now take your right leg, cross it over the left knee, and allow the weight of your right leg to pull your hip and your spine, low spine, into a deeper stretch. We can rotate palms up if that feels better for your shoulders. That always feels better for mine here. I want that external rotation opening through the chest. And let's just hold this for a few more deep breaths in and out. We're going to release our right foot back onto the mat where it was. And then we're going to bring our legs through center and then to the other side. So the legs are going to the left. And your body might kind of slide over a little bit, like my right shoulder slid over a little bit as my knees went to the left. Take your left leg, cross it over the right knee. Just allow the weight of your left leg to pull your right hip into a deeper stretch. 3 deep breaths in and out. You're going to uncross the left leg back onto the floor and then bring your legs back to center. Take the arms overhead, bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. And we're going to do that little hip opener and psoas stretch again here. So sides of the feet, shoulders back and down, and just press the hips up. Knees stay wide. Once you're up on the top of the shoulder blades, just bring some awareness into your legs. Try to relax any gripping in the lower leg, in the front of the hip. Allow the knees to be open and wide. 4, 3, 2, slowly lower back down. And let's do that 1 more time, pressing the hips up. Once you get to the top, relaxing any tension in the lower leg, knees stay wide. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips all the way back down. We're going to bring our knees in, just nice and slow, because that's a very big stretch through the psoas. You're going to pull your knees in, pressing the low back onto the mat. Just real gentle. Let it round out. And then tuck chin and chest and hug the knees in to nose. And then we're going to start to rock forward and back until we end up in a seated position. Crossing the ankles, rolling over the feet and the knees. And let's come into a single thigh stretch. So we're going to step the right foot forward. So we're opening up the left hip. Come up onto the fingertips and lift your heart. So we get that nice stretch through the front of our hip now. And just one more deep breath in and out. Just kind of holding today. And just kind of sit back. We're going to slide the right leg back and bring the left foot forward. And just sinking down into the front of the right hip, making sure your left knee is over your ankle. Coming up onto your fingertips if that feels okay for you, so your heart's just a little more lifted. Just allow the front of your right hip to open up. Just breathe and hold today. And then we're going to go ahead and sit back a little bit, slide your left leg in, and come to a seated position with the legs out. I know we're kind of working the hip flexors a little bit by taking a forward fold. I just want to give the hamstrings a little bit of a stretch. So let's just keep the legs relaxed. We'll take the arms up and just allow your body to fold over the legs. The spine could be rounded as long as you're feeling a nice stretch in your legs. Just try to keep everything kind of relaxed. And we'll just hold this for a few more deep breaths in and out. Try to get the knees and toes to look up. Let the weight of your head be heavy. So you might even feel a little stretch in your spine. You can move around a little bit if you want. You can even rock a little bit side to side. So as you put your weight on one glute, you're going to feel more of a stretch on that side. And then we'll come back to center, just kind of settling into that stretch a little bit more. Again, legs relaxed. And then we'll restack our spine nice and slow all the way back up. Just real gentle again. Awesome class, everybody. That was really nice. It's always good to just kind of